Hey guys, welcome back to another Duplication Nation MLM podcast. We're available on YouTube, all the major podcast platforms. And this is brought to you by duplicationnation.com, where you should go and visit frequently. Make sure you sign up for the free MLM bootcamp. It's a site that I run with my esteemed colleague, Jaime Loquier, and it's just a nexus of resources to help you be successful in the business. So one of the things we do on this podcast is the Chopping It Up with ... series. If you're new here for the first time, what these are is it's not an interview. I'm not interviewing the other person. They're not interviewing me. It is just a conversation, a big kid conversation on the real world, how this business is done. What I try to do is find out what they might do for their success routines, their patterns that they do. We want to learn a little something about that other person's life, so you get to know them a little, how their mind works, and how they create success in the business. And so it's a back and forth conversation, and this has blown up because really it is the PhD program of empowering leadership, with more truth bombs per minute than anything has ever been done in the direct selling leverage sales space. And my partner this week is the legendary Gianmarco Mosto. So hello, my friend. It is so great to be with you.
Thank you, Randy. It's my pleasure to be with you. It's almost a dream that have this conversation with you, because you were and you are one of my mentors in this industry. I remember when I saw you the first time a long time ago, and when I see you in person in 2006 in the gym, in those mastermind events, and for me it was like seeing a Mick Jagger or Michael Phelps, no?
I don't know about
Thank you, Randy. Thank you. Thank you, Randy, for all the lessons that you gave us to all the network marketing members or emprendedors.
Emprendedores, yes. So, I just did a show with J.J. Burden a couple of episodes ago. He was a football player in the National Football League for a decade almost. And I thought his show is really powerful. The lessons he learned from the self-discipline he developed in sports, it served him really well in this profession. And he had a lot of great lessons for how it applies to the business. So as I was thinking about how to start this conversation with you, I immediately gravitated to sports, because you were, I don't know, you were on the national swim team or the Olympic swim team. And since then, I know you are a maniac about physical fitness and are always challenging yourself. So can you share what is your sport athlete story? And then let's dig a little deeper.
My mother was a South American champion back in the 70s. She used to swim for the national team here in Peru. Then she got married, had got 3 kids. I am the young one, the last one. And my 3 brothers were athletes as well. My mother used to have she was a swim former, and I was in the club with her when I was 4, 5, or 6 years old, with my brother Bruno and my sister Patricia. And in the 90, when I was 9 years old, there was a club called Regatas. This is a club, it's a big club that called my brother and I to go and swim there. And I started at 9 years old with this club, with the Regatas Lima, until today. I am 42 years old, and I make my swimming story with this club. Then I go to I do my first national team when I was 14-year old.
14, and you were on the
yes,
national team.
Yes, I was in a national team when I was 14. My brother also when he was 17. And then I got a struggle. I got a struggle story with the swimming as well. And I come back. I didn't come back. I keep struggling until it was 2002, that when I talked with my coach in that moment and tell him that I really want to train to make the Olympics, to do Athens in 2004. I didn't make that because I missed the Olympic for almost 96 hundredths of a second, like this. I missed my dream.
Yes, we can't jump over that because I know this story. So yeah, literally to be on the Olympic team, the difference between making it and not getting selected was 94th. What was it again?
96 hundredths of a second.
96 hundredths of a second.
I think if I don't cut my nails that day, maybe maybe I will qualify to Athens. Now it was not like that, but 96 hundredths of a second, it sounds to be almost nothing. It was almost nothing, but that's my story about swimming. Then I went to 5 world championships in different countries. I went to Shanghai, to Melbourne, Australia. I was swimming in the Conseco Fieldhouse in Indiana. I met there Larry Bird. He was like this tall, this guy.
Yeah.
Well, Larry Bird was in the honor chairs there, and I don't miss the opportunity to shake the hand with him. I was in Belo Horizonte also, and in Washington, D.C., swimming for my country. And in 2006, when I was 25 years old, I realized that I will not live from sports. Here in Peru, it's almost impossible to live from sports. And I retired. One day I went to my training day, and I saw that I feel like Forrest Gump in that moment when I'm just tired. I don't want to keep doing this. I was really tired, and I talked with my coach. And in 2007, 1 year after I began with my network marketing story, I quit. I quit the professional, non-paid story in swimming. That's my story in a resume.
And what are the lessons you learned from all those years of training and competing that help you in the business today that other people could apply, you think?
For me, there was a lot of lessons, Randy. For sure is the hard work. For me, until now, I return swimming but let's make this difference. I returned the sport in 2013, like 6 years after I quit, because I really need to feel that energy that sports make me. That energy helped me with my business, with my mind, with my soul, with everything. It really does. And for sure, I am used to work a lot in the pool and outside the pool. I don't know, but I love to work a lot. I love to swim a lot. I love the pain. I don't know if that is good or not, or not, but I really enjoy suffering inside the pool. Today, for example, I went to train at 5 o'clock at the morning, and I got in at 5:25 at the morning. I have my heartbeat in 180 doing some specific train. I was really tired, but in some point I think myself, it's 5:25 at the morning. All lights in Peru, in Lima, are shut down almost. And what I am doing this. And that is exactly what I love. Like, do what everyone is not willing to do. And of course, Randy, one of the values that I apply today to my business and to my life is that there's no medals if there's no hard work. Almost the sacrifice that this come with the sport. In my business, for example, or in our business, for me is working or doing a meeting in those times that is better do a barbecue. For example, for me doing an action plan in Saturday or in Sunday, for me is paying the price, is doing the right thing, because people that are trying to improve themselves are searching for us, and being with a good energy, the right moment, is great for me. And I can tell you about a lot of those values for our business.
I'm getting a little echo of you. Is that because you're wearing the iPods, you think? The earbuds?
I can try without them.
Let's see. Because can you hear me fine if you're not wearing those through your laptop?
Yes. Let's see.
Check. Test 1, 2.
Hola, hola.
Okay, yeah. I think, because before that I was getting a little bit of an echo. And sometimes when you're using a mic and the earbuds, it gets
maybe.
Yeah. All right, good.
It's better.
Yeah, I love what you're saying about being in the pool at 5 a.m. and the whole world is shut down. Like on most weekdays when I go downstairs to the gym, there's people there. But like on Sundays or holidays, I'll be down there and I'm the only guy in the whole gym.
I have a story with you. You will not remember this, but this is a real story for me as a network marketer, because in 2012, when I went to my first event, a big event in the first mastermind, I was with Ronald and Luca. And the night before, we not met. We just take a photo with you. You don't met us. We just take a photo with you.
Okay.
And the night before, when we were taking dinner with Ronald and Luca, we were talking about tomorrow we have to go to the gym before the event, because I can bet the world achievers in this profession works their soul, their mental. They love to train. I can bet that we will find someone in the gym. And who was at the gym? My friend Randy Gage. You were in the gym.
Yeah, it's so, especially when you do those major events like that. I don't even, a lot of times I can't even get to sleep at night. Like if it's a Friday night, like for my team events, we usually do Friday night, then Saturday day for the short ones. And then the long ones, we also do Saturday night and then Sunday day. And you finish that session on Friday night at 10 a.m. I am so jacked up. I'm like swinging from the chandeliers. I can't go to sleep. My mind is just going crazy thinking about what happened. And so I need to exercise to get that, so I can I keep my mental state calmer, and I'm more likely to be able to fall asleep if I got up early and did my workout. Because if you skip the workouts on those weekends, man, for me, I would never get to sleep.
And there's also like a chemic, as a chemistry also inside our bodies that help us for everything, to connect with people, that for all the las habilidades, the abilities, the
abilities,
of our profession, about connecting people. Connecting people is where everything starts in our profession.
Yeah,
there is where everything starts, and it's impossible to try to build something without the good energy. And maybe there is the most challenging thing that many people have to focus in their business, about how is their own energy when they are connecting with people.
Yeah.
And well, for me, the making sports or swimming, and I love swimming also in the sea. I have here in Lima la bendición to have the sea in front of us, and we can swim there 12 months a year, and we have dolphins there. I can talk you about dozens of stories that I have swimming at the sea, and some dolphins appear.
Yeah.
This is not SeaWorld, man. This is Peru.
I love it. So,
and that's energy also. That is energy.
100%. 100%. It's just like, just anything with nature. Like literally right now, I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I have some new roommates in my condo here because I had a planter and a mother pigeon came and laid eggs there. Wow. And now her baby girl has been born about 3 weeks ago. And she can't, the baby can't fly yet. She can like flap her wings and go up to get out of the planter, and she could walk a little bit on my balcony, and she got up to one little plant. But I've been watching them, it took like 3 weeks for the egg to hatch. And then it's been like 3 weeks since the baby was born. And the mother is there. The mother sat on that egg all day, all night for 3 weeks. Never would leave that egg, And the father comes by and he just watches guard from the balcony to make sure there's no lions or tigers coming to get the baby, I guess. And so I know so of course I got some water dishes, and I went and I bought some food for pigeons, and I take it out there and I put it for them every morning, and they watch them, they come and eat the food, and I'm watching this little baby grow up. It's like a spiritual experience. Anything in nature. I just, like the ocean, I don't know how to swim, right? So I'm scared to death at the ocean to go too far. But still, just to go in it and feel the salt water. And, I scuba dived a few times. Scuba diving was the ultimate spiritual experience for me.
It is.
Oh my God. I'm going to Hawaii on Monday The last time I was there, I was scuba diving in this place where they have these huge turtles, like 3 or 4 feet wide, I'm just there scuba diving with like 10 or 12 of these turtles around me. I mean, it's just, you feel like you are communing with God in that moment, I think.
Mm-hmm. And there's also a feeling of non-secure because it's not our environment,
Right.
and that makes it special. That's exactly when we learn about the comfort zone that we talk always.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's my age now. At my age, I'm 42, but I'm more sensitive about nature right now. I don't know when I was 25 or 20, but right now I don't know if if I'm doing now. I understand though that kind of tourism about bird watching. I am not in that level yet, but I love nature right now. Doing sports in the sea, going running in the jungle or in the mountains here. It's great.
I just wrote a blog about this. That's why I'm going to Hawaii. I was writing a blog. I'll put a link in the show notes for people who want to see it. I think I called it the power of a pause, and how important it is to get time away from your work, away from your business. Something like, for me, it's softball. I'm playing third base or first base, and I'm not a young 42 years old like Gianmarco. I'm 20 years more than that. And I have guys hitting a ball at 100 miles an hour.
Wow.
At me. And when you're there at third base and that guy is about to hit the ball and it could be coming your way at 100 miles an hour, you can't be thinking about work. You can't be thinking about when is your next opportunity presentation, or did any of your customers order. You are just laser focused on that batter, knowing that that ball could be coming for your chiclets, in the next moment. And it's just, you get out, you sweat, you get fresh air, you raise your blood level, your circulation, it pumps through your body, it gets the endorphins going. And I think if you don't have that, everyone, I just encourage them like that. So I was writing the blog about that, how important it is to have a Sabbath or vacation time, hobbies. When I went on my sabbatical, it was amazing for me. And I just find I do my best creative work after I've had a break like that. And it just, which is why I always look forward to Monday morning and getting back to every Monday. I'm like, thank God it's Monday, because I get to go and do my work, which I love to do. But I think that comes because I always take the weekends off, and I have that downtime, Saturday night, Sunday, I don't work and I shut down and I play softball and I read and I go to movies and dinner with friends and hit the batting cage or, wherever. And so as I was writing that blog post, I was thinking, man, it's too long since I've been to Hawaii. So I just stopped in the middle. I went online. I booked a hotel, I bought a ticket, and I'm going on Monday.
I am in order of that idea, I have a topic that until now, I want to put energy in that topic in network marketing. Is the power of a nap, of making a nap. Yeah. I am a professional napper. Yeah. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I make a nap. I make a nap. I take this nap or a nap since I swim, for example. And that is another thing that I learned from sports, to make this pause or make this rest, this mental rest, or do this power nap. That's how it is called. Not a 2-hour nap. No. A 20 or 25 a minute nap
Yeah.
for me is, and that's why I want to talk about this, because I think when I talk about making a nap in my teams or with other people, there's a kind of confusion with network marketers. And what about paying the price? Because people think, I think, that paying the price is not sleeping, not eating, working until 2 a.m. at the morning, because I am paying the price. And Randy, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's very destructive. There's so many people who are getting traction on Instagram and TikTok and other social media, doing seminars on, the hustle, the grind, the hunger. And it's just, there's too much. There's just too much of it. It's, hustle is for hustlers. I don't want to be a hustler. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a professional. And most importantly, I'm a person. I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a mentor, I'm a friend. I have these other roles that are important in my life. And I have to keep that full body perspective. And I think we all do that. And I'm as competitive as anyone. If I'm in a plan, I got to get to the top of that comp plan. If there's a rank above me, I'm like, okay, what do I have to do to get to that next rank? And time and time again, I have been the first person in the world to ever achieve a rank in a company, right? Because I'm driven that way. But I'm driven that way because, like, even when I was just going as my hardest ever, I still played softball 2 times a week and sometimes 3 times a week, because I felt I'm just more effective when I have the downtime and I reset. Because, like, for me, I'm just like, as a writer, when I write a book, I can sit down at my laptop at 7 in the morning and I might still be writing at 2 a.m. And I'll do that for 2 weeks, and I'll literally write a book in 2 weeks because I devoted right to it. And then I'll like, okay, that's it. I'm shutting down. Now I'm going, and I give myself a reward. Okay, when the book is done, I'm going to Prague, or I'm going to Sydney, or I'm going down to Key West, and I'll shut down. And I'll reward myself for that. So I'll go hard when I want to. Like, same thing, right? It's the end of the month. I'm 2,000 points away from qualifying for a new rank. Hey, I'm going to do what I have to do to get that 2,000 points and hit that rank. But I'm not going to forget about my loved ones and my health and my life, because I think the reason, in the Radical Rebirth book, I talked about burnout a little bit. And I believe you get burned out only when you have nothing left to give. You just literally, there's no more you can give. And so if you really do want to help your team, you have to take care of yourself first. If you really do want to be a good father, a good husband, or a good wife, or a good child, you have to get your own needs met first. And I screwed this up for the first 30 years of my life. I was a total workaholic. I had no personal life. I totally chased money. And I thought that was going to be the solution to all of my problems. And then when I started to earn money, I realized, well, no, it's not the solution to all my problems. Money is the solution to my money problems, but it doesn't fix my dysfunctional relationships or my low self-esteem or the other health challenges I have. And so in my case, I just learned, okay, health is foundational. There's nobody in our profession who reaches a high level and sustains it at that level without coming to grips with the term, like, you know what? I really do need to eat healthy. I need to drink healthy. I need to exercise. I need to get enough sleep. I have to take care of my body. And all this hustle, hustle, hustle. You got to grind. It's taken out of context. You can be a high level achiever, and you can drive yourself to accomplish amazing things. But if you make that too one-dimensional, you become one-dimensional. And when you're one-dimensional, there's nobody in the world who wants to interact with you in your personal life or your business life. I mean, what happens is eventually you stop being successful in the business because you just radiate this energy of everywhere you go. You're like the cyborg in Terminator 2, you know, you're just looking for your next prospect that can make you money, and you're evaluating them and running the computer.
Because you have to be the example. You have to be the example of your team.
Yeah, right. And it's crazy. That's the wrong example. Like, you know, I won't say his name, but a guy who was pretty successful money-wise for spurts at a time. I don't think he's got the character issue. I don't think he has the character to be successful long-term. He's one of these, you know, bottle rocket guys who shoots up to a plan. He makes a lot of thunder and lightning, and then he moves on to the next deal. And if you call his phone, it's always just, I'm slammed right now. I have no, you know, and he just doesn't return any calls. He's like, I'm too busy with this. And I think the people on his team see that and say, well,
I don't want to be this guy.
Yeah, why would I want a lifestyle like that? I mean, when you're young and dumb, you'll say, of course I would work 20 hours a day to make $100,000 a month. I'd be a moron if I didn't do that, right? Because you believe that at that point. You don't know what's really important, most people, right? Some are smarter than me. I was pretty slow learner. It took me a long time to learn this, that there's no amount of money in the world that's worth selling your soul for.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. I have a aha moment. That's how I call this. When I was a father, I started network marketing when I was 29 years old, and my values were totally different. I was chasing money as well. I sacrificed everything. I sacrificed my family relationships. In that moment, it funcionó for me. It works for me in that moment, because I was 29. I didn't have any kids. I didn't have any wife. I didn't have anything. The only thing I really wanted in that moment in 2006 was, in 25 years, the only thing that matters for me in that moment was to work. But for me, it's always a aha moment when my and also for me was the car. I also had that fever, no, the car, the suits, the everything, no,
right,
until my son was born. No, when Milan was born in 2017, I got another story as a network marketer, because I really appreciate some other things about this business. I appreciate more. Yesterday at 3:00 at the time my kid Milan came from school, we went to a movie. We went, okay, Milan, let's go to a movie yesterday. And that moment that doesn't cost anything for me is a gift of our profession. For me, it's a gift of our profession. Actually, we went to see Transformers. It was a good movie.
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna see it. I've seen them all. I got to see that one.
It is a good movie. It's a good movie. You know it's Cusco there, right? There's a part that appears Peru, Cusco. There's a stone.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
It was filmed here. The half of the movie was filmed here.
Oh, wow.
Cusco. Have you ever been in Cusco? Yes, right?
Yes, I have.
Yes, you were.
You have been in the audience when I delivered a speech in Spanish in
And-
Cusco.
Yes, and you went to Machu Picchu?
I didn't go up to Machu Picchu. I had to leave we were doing that event, and then on Sunday, everybody was going to Machu Picchu. We had like a team group, but I had to take the red-eye flight back to Miami because I had playoffs for my softball team on Sunday. So I didn't get to Machu Picchu.
There's a fight, Randy, in the movie in the middle of the Machu Picchu sanctuary, but it is really impactante, like shocking to see Machu Picchu, all these robots fighting there. It is great. It is great. It's a good movie, and that is a gift for me, going with my son, and my son asking me, Daddy, we are going to Cusco next month. Those robots will be in Cusco next month. that innocence that they have for me is everything.
Because he's like 6 now?
Yeah, it's almost 6. In September, he's turning 6.
Okay. I love
Randy,
it.
I have a topic for you. I really want to have this question for you, or I wanna talk about this, because I have like 16 years doing this, but I always think, how was network marketing when you started? But not that your story. How was the paychecks when you started? How was the meetings when you started? How do you train yourself at the time you started? And if you can talk with me all that evolution that the network marketing that you have seen in this just couple years that you are involved.
It is now 44 years I have been in network marketing. Can you believe that?
Time flies.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will find the answer to this question very surprising in certain ways, because the default answer you would expect is, the stories of the parents who say, well, back in my childhood, I had to walk to school 15 miles in the snow, and we didn't have cars, and we didn't have telephones, and we didn't have TV, and right? That's kind of the cliche. And that's true. When I hang around with Ann Feinstein and Dana Collins and colleagues of mine who've been in the profession for decades, like I have, we do look at that stuff and say, remember how excited we were when the fax machine was invented? And oh my God, when
I have ever, a long time ago, fax. People will make this, will see this, and they will Google it.
They'll have to Google it. They're going to go to their phone and Google what is a fax. Okay, yeah. That's the reality for a lot of people watching this. So there's that kind of cliche, what you expect. But what I will say is, in a deeper level, there's been some fascinating things, changes that maybe people wouldn't think about in a normal way. I believe the presenters as a whole were better 30 years ago and 40 years ago than many people are today. The people who got on stage with chalkboards and whiteboards and markers and drew circles, they knew how to captivate an audience, because you got to that stage by doing home meetings in people's living rooms and dens and kitchen tables. And Malcolm Gladwell, he wrote the book about the 10,000 hours of learning something. For people like me, and others who've been around, we've done more than 10,000 presentations in our career. Because like there was a time I was working in a company where we tested the idea of renting an office and having a center. And we used to do presentations at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m. every day. 7 days a week, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 7 p.m. So I might do 15 presentations in a week as one of the leaders in my city. Even when we didn't have centers, when I was really going after it, and I learned, when I reached that tipping point where you go from the part-timer to, hey, I'm going to make this my full-time profession, I stepped it up and I built 5 nights a week. So literally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I was doing presentations, and frequently Saturday mornings. And most of the people, the leaders in our profession, were doing that. And we learned how to read a room. That was my greatest challenge. I loved going to a home presentation, and there was 5 guests in the room. And there was always one of them who desperately did not want to be there. And their legs were crossed and their arms were crossed and they were glowering at me. Who is this jerk who's talking all this crap? And that was my Olympics, was, okay, I got to get this guy signed up by the end of the night, because I know he is the most skeptical SOB in the room. So I just learned how to read, right? So I learned little techniques. So the guy's sitting there and he's got his leg crossed. I will actually go up and just tap him on the knee to make a point when I'm speaking. So there's 4 or 5 people, and I do this in big ballrooms too. If they're sitting in the front row, and I can sometimes, they've had a distributor bring them and they've been trained. If you're on my team, I'm training you. You get your candidates in the front row, get them as close to the speaker as possible. Try to introduce them to the
to get wet, to throw the water.
Right.
I saw that video. I saw that video.
Yeah. So I will go and I will just touch them on the knee, which instantly, if you do that to someone, they will uncross their arms and they'll uncross their legs. They can't help it. It's just a reaction that all humans do that. Like, wait, why is this person touching me? How did he just invaded my space? What happened here? Where? And now they're leaning forward because they're wondering, is he going to come and do this again? Then I'm going to ask them a question that is very important. You have to ask a question that you know that they will know the answer. So I will say, let's say it's back in the days and I'm drawing on my whiteboard. So I say, okay, you get 5 people. Now, if each of those 5 get 5, how many people will be on this next level? Sir, you there in the red shirt. If each of the 5 get 5, how many people will that be on the next level?
25.
Right. So he will jump up. Now he is on DEFCON 1 alert status, because he's thinking, what if this guy asks me another question? I have all these people. There's 400 people in this room. Thank God I knew the answer to that question. What if he asked me another question? So he will be so focused on the presentation. And so by the time I'm done, he's going to sign up, because of course he would sign up. Anybody who doesn't sign up is crazy, right? Because they don't understand. The only people who would not join our business, I think, are the people who don't understand it. Because if you understood leverage, you would never do any other type of activity in the world for business, for profit, that didn't provide leverage. It's a wonder of the world, right? So people back in the day, if you earned the right to hold we used to say, the person with the marker makes the most money. Today, we'd say the person with the clicker makes the most money. You had to earn your way on that stage. Today, I don't see that as much. We'll see people on stage that haven't honed their craft of making presentations. There's too many people who sat home in their Chewbacca pajama bottoms and their suit and tie top doing Zoom meetings who never got out in the real world. There's too many people who are hiding out on social media and they're not talking to people in the real world. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there was a higher level of skill in terms of presentations. And I feel there's a higher level of skill in team leadership, in conflict resolution, because we built teams of tens of thousands of people, and there's always issues when you work with people. Always. And when you meet in person and you're building with real people in the real world, those issues are going to come out. You will learn how to handle them. So I would like to see some of the later generations doing our business now to concentrate more on honing their craft. There's so many people who have lived on Signal and WhatsApp and Telegram so long, they can't have a conversation in the real world. The number of guys who are 30 years old who are still virgins is like crazy. The number of guys who are 25 and 35 who could not ask someone out for a date because they don't have those social interaction skills, because they're a digital native. They were raised on devices. That's kind of scary. And part of our job as leaders today is helping people navigate through that. Other stuff it's so much nicer to work now with mobile phones, with replicated websites, with mobile apps. Being just the fact that you can check your back office at any time, night and day, know exactly what your volume is, how many customers you have, what rank you might next qualify for. That's such a huge advantage to work in the business that we didn't have before. And then
how was back then, Randy? How was back then? You got an email, right?
We didn't have email even.
No, not an email, a mailbox. Sorry, a mailbox.
Yeah, mail. And so, and you mailed in your last applications on the 28th or 29th of the month. And then later when FedEx and UPS offered overnight services, then you might pay $10 to send in your last 2 applications of the month. So you knew that they got in. But before that, you didn't even know. Most companies would have a policy to say, okay, if the envelope had a postmark by midnight on the last day of the month, then we're going to count that distributor for that month, enrollment month. But you never were sure. You would get your check on the 15th of the next month by mail. And if you had a big team, you would get a box this thick because it was computer paper, the green and white lined with the dot matrix, dots on the side.
That you take it out.
If you had a big team, you got so I would get my printout and I would take the green marker and I'd highlight who were the diamonds, and I'd take the blue one and highlight who were the gold, and this yellow one were the silver. So you would try to see where you had growth, where you had duplication. But the month was already halfway over at that point. So the idea that now you can check your volume and your enrollments and your customers in real time is such a huge advantage to build in. So there is so many wonderful things that we can use now that make the business, that lubricate doing the business. But the part that I think a lot of people are missing is the foundational skill sets. And you worked with me, I'm like every major event, there has to be something. How do you meet people? How do you work a candidate list? How do you make compelling invitations? Because those are skill sets. Anybody can learn them, but you have to teach them, because by by the time they come to you, most people's character is pretty set, but they have a little leeway. And if they came to you from the corporate world, where there's so much politics and backbiting and infighting and political turf, they love our business because they can escape from that. But then you have to show them, like, hey, there's a different culture here. We don't want to do that politics game. We don't, some companies you work for, the smartest thing you can do is hold down the people underneath you, because they might take your job. If you train them too well, the company may say, hey, we got Gianmarco, we're paying him $45,000 a year. He has this new lady, Rosita, who's working under him. She seems to know all this stuff, and she only makes $25,000 a year, and she gets less vacation time and less health insurance. Why don't we just get rid of Gianmarco? And so you learn, like, wow, I better not train these people too well, or I lose my spot. Now we've got to show them, you've got to train these people with everything you have. You've got to get them so they can replace you at any time. And that is going to make you earn more money, get more ranks, advance more rapidly, have a better lifestyle, be happier, healthier, more prosperous. So it's all about setting that culture.
I ask you this, or I ask you that, because it's always nice to see how network marketing grew up or is growing up. We are in 2023. We are having challenges as well. We are and the business is still being built by people.
Yeah,
by people. And at the time I listen to you, I appreciate more our profession, because and there's a word that I don't know why, Randy, I appreciate it more this year. I don't know why. Don't ask me why, because I have always trained about this word, but this year, in special this year, I have make more sense about this word, is leverage. And you will say, yeah, Marco, leverage? You right now? Yeah. I don't know why, but
apalancamiento.
Yes. Like when I was in Africa, like a month ago, I make a list in the airplane. I was like 12 hours flying from Cape Town to Amsterdam. And in one moment, I think about, I will make a list about all the things that I am able to apalancarme, to get leverage about network marketing in my company. But everything, I have a lot of time to think. And I found like 78 things to get leverage about this profession. And at the time I was writing one of those, each after one after the other, I just conclude we have a great opportunity here. We have a great, and well, that's it. At the time you told us that, or you tell me what you have to do to train 44 years ago to send the applications to the core office to 44 years ago. I said to myself, I am in a clique of difference to do all these things. No, I say thank you, Randy, for that.
Here's what we have to watch out for: the things we take for granted, the assumptions that we make. Right now, I'm consulting with a company that needs to, it's a great company, great people, great products. They're not getting the kind of growth they want. They're like, Gage, come in here, help us. Why aren't we getting duplication? And I look at and of course, they're missing what a lot of companies are. There's not a quantified candidate pathway with a ladder of escalation. They don't have a step, and then a tool to go with it. They haven't done a standardized presentation. They don't have a standardized new member orientation. So these are all things I can fix really easily with any company, right? So that's the easy stuff. But the thing I see with this client is we have an expression in English. It won't make sense in Spanish, but you'll get the drift. In English, we call it inside baseball, meaning when you're talking about something and there's too much industry specific inside knowledge that other people outside the space would never understand. Right. So if you're talking about, well, I know a lot of companies have binary plans, but we have a stair-step breakaway plan. And we also have an infinity bonus that pays through this many levels. If you're talking to a real person in the real world, they don't even know what you're talking about. Right. So the problem with this client is I look at all their videos and everything is inside baseball. It's like presentations made for what I call the MLM zombies, the people who have been in 15 different companies and they know all the different type of comp plans and all the hot, sexy product line. You know, back 10 years ago, they were all doing the magic berry juice, and then they were doing the gasoline additive thing, and then they were doing the CBD oil, and then
I remember
now it's the keto diet and intermittent, they just follow in the whatever they perceive as the hot thing. And it's all about, so all these, they do these like 50-minute recruiting videos, and they're talking about why their comp plan is better than other comp plans, why their product category is better than other product categories, why their corporate headquarters and their corporate team is better than other corporate headquarters. And there's nothing in the message there at all about the candidate. There's nothing in the message there at all about benefits to the candidate. Mm-hmm. So if you say, I have this magic berry juice, and we go down to Guatemala and we go deep in the forest and we harvest this ingredient to put in, that's a feature. You're talking about you, your products, your company. A benefit is always about the candidate or the prospect. So when you say, when you drink this magic juice, you're going to have sustained energy for 5 hours afterward. That's a benefit to the candidate. What happens is people get jaded because they're always looking, they're watching everybody else's Instagram account to see how they're recruiting. They're watching everybody else presentations on Facebook. They're sneaking into their presentations in, hotel meeting rooms, peeking through the door to see. And so they're just they're building presentations for how to compete with what they see as their competition. And they don't understand the people in other network marketing companies are not your competition.
I have a question there, Randy. How to make in 2023? How do you see, or what is your opinion about this marriage that we have had with the social media and network marketing? Because it is true that by social media we can receive some prospects. But we have to have an opinion with this, because there is network marketers, entrepreneurs that are all day trying to they are waiting the ideal prospect, no, el prospecto ideal, and they are losing all the day in the cell phone, or they're trying to do a post to have the likes they need. But which is your opinion, Randy, about this new era? This is not new already, no? We are already in 2023, but about the technology and network marketing in that skill, the meeting people.
Yeah, I wish people would understand there is a process that leads to a successful enrollment. That process involves meeting people, developing relationships, identifying needs and desires, making a compelling invitation to look at an external proof tool, meaning you don't make the sales pitch. It's a video, an audio, a catalog, a brochure, a live stream, but an external proof presentation, and then following up with that. And you can't eliminate any part of that process. And the thing that social media people, the people who try to build exclusively on social media at home in their bunny slippers, is they try to eliminate some of those steps. And you can't eliminate any step in that process. That process works the same whether it's online or offline. So the way to do social media is the way to do real life, is meet people, put yourself in environments where there are people assembled who are the kind of candidates you would like to work with. Find shared commonalities, make those introductions, develop the relationships. So if you just find a group, so if you search through Facebook and then you find a group of, work at home income club, I can guarantee you that everybody who's in that work and home income club group want to sell you something. And they're waiting for you to join the group so they can sell you. And you join the group so you can sell them. So you've got 127 members in this group, all trying to sell each other their different stuff. And it's a joke, because nobody did the early work. They didn't meet people. They didn't develop relationships. They didn't identify those needs and desires. And if you will do that, that's where social media can work for you. I've had great success with social media. I make a lot of money today still from people that I met on social media and introduced to the business, and they're still in the business, and they still have customers who are using products on a regular basis, and we're all living happily ever after. But that's only true because I developed a relationship, I identified those needs and desires, and then I took it offline and said, hey, Jimmy, I got something that I think you may be intrigued about. Can we chat? If I send you this link of this 2-minute preview thing, would you look at it and call me when you're done? I followed the same process, just like I would if I met him at the Marlins baseball game. You can't shortchange the process. So if you think I'm just going to create a slide and it says magic berry juice cures diabetes, DM me for details. Well, first, you're going to get shut down by the government. Second, you're going to get terminated by your company for making crazy claims. And third, most importantly, it'll never duplicate. So yeah, you really might sign up 27 people in 10 days because they have diabetes. And then
there are a ton of people doing that.
Yeah, but they're not going to be there.
It's more of the same.
Yeah, and they're not going to be there in the end. You need, when you do this right, you'll be getting income from people that you recruited and met 35 years ago. But that's not going to happen if you're just bombing out posts on social media and signing up people with, shock and awe campaigns, because it won't duplicate. We always have to go back to that fundamental first principle of network marketing, which is it doesn't matter what works, it matters what duplicates.
Mm-hmm. Yes, great. And I think that's like my mantra as well. I learned it from you, from this book, How to Build a MLM how do you say it in English? Cómo construir una máquina de dinero multinivel.
Yeah.
I got my signed book here also.
Throw that book away. It's so out of date.
But I like it. I like my old stuff.
Don't let anybody read that book. Make sure they read Direct Selling Success, so they get the latest, greatest information.
I will, Randy, I will. There are some fundamentals that from generation to generation doesn't change.
Yeah.
There are some skills that after pandemic, people got confused. Well, it's my point of view. People got confused because they thought that the person to person is over. Now we are going to do network marketing from our Zoom, and we are not going to events. We are not going to nothing. As a joke, I tell them, okay, at the time you win your bonus trip, you go by Zoom as well.
Exactly. That's the message they have to hear. I love that idea. You said, okay, if you just want to build on Zoom, you're going to get the trip to Dubai only on Zoom. That's, we've got to, people, I get, because I'm as adverse to rejection as anybody. I would love to protect myself from ever being rejected again, but that's not how the breakthroughs come. The breakthroughs come by facing down the difficulties. And what you said about these foundational principles that never change. When I say that's a first principle, it's not what works, it's what duplicates. That's a first principle. Everything spins off from that. The actions of how you meet people, learning that skill, that transcends time and any generation. The ability to make a compelling invitation, that transcends time, any generation. The things you learn, like the discipline you learned swimming at 15 years old on the national team, that stuff will pay you dividends your entire life. But one thing, as I thought about that, one thing I wanted to ask you is, what would you tell the people who were not in the NFL like JJ? They weren't on the national team like you. They never were an elite athlete. They didn't have that self-discipline. They're not up at 5 a.m. every day, swimming laps in the pool or doing the workouts. What does the average person need to know? What do you see on your team with the people who didn't start with that? They didn't learn that self-discipline in their youth or as an athlete. How should they approach it now?
For me, it's the thing that I can say to anyone is that we have to choose a good mentor. For me, I am a excellent swimmer, Randy. and my ego, with my ego, and I am an excellent athlete, but I am an excellent follower when I train. I never, since I am 6 years old till now, that I had all the medals, I have all the recognition. Right now, I am training for competing in the South American Championship in November. And I am not doing my own plans. I am not writing my plans because I need to have a mentor, a coach that can see me when I am in action. This coach have to change or to correct my elbow, my hand, everything, my mental disorder as well, because we also have struggled things in this process. In network marketing, every person that goes inside this business, I have to recognize that at the time I begin, at the time I already have this pattern to choose a mentor, but I thought everyone has the same pattern, because I thought that in this industry, everyone, it can be normal to follow instructions. It is normal to make presentations. It's normal for people to work. It's normal. Everything is normal to people to go to events. And it's not normal. It's not normal. It's so far from reality. And if there's something that I can suggest from my humble experience, is to have a mentor that take us out of our comfort zone, because we can also have a mentor that doesn't take out of our comfort zone. And just that, our mentor, the mentor that we choose, will make he can or she will ask for us to train once. They will make they will told us to do the thing just once, and we have to be in our own responsibility to do the work. And that, Randy, I will always say to everyone, to have a mentor, to have a leader, to follow him, to follow them, and the other thing is to be responsible, doing the right things to achieve what we really dream that we want to achieve.
Yeah. You're really blessed because you're in a company with some superstars. You have Luca Melloni. You have Flaco, Erick Gamio, both those guys who have done Chopping It Ups with me. So if someone hasn't seen those shows, you got to watch them. Luca Melloni, Erick Gamio, and then of course the greatest network marketer on earth, Lily Rosales. So what are some of the lessons you learned from those guys?
I have a conversation with Erick in Africa. I have this personality that, or at least this year, Randy, in this year for me, I am in this student mode. I really want to hear everything. I want to make my next level as a networker as well. And I'm listening to everyone. Not everyone, but there are everyone, like people that are making good decisions. And for example, from Erick, I have a conversation going to the airport. And from Erick, I learned about how he doesn't Does I don't I know how to say this in bad words, but
Well, the bad words are allowed on this show. There's plenty of them, so you don't have to worry about that.
Erick doesn't give, you know what, a fuck from what people think about them, and that personality is what I learned about Erick. He's a creator, a constant creator about new things.
Yeah.
He told us what he really thinks without any filter. From Luca is my mentor. Luca is my mentor, and I got a nice connection with him because I really saw him and saw his family with Lily as a family that I wanna have with Andrea, with Milan, and I saw them as my they are an example for me in everything.
They are the role model family.
Yeah, but not for the rank they have. I'm telling you because the example they are for people. I love that. I really want to be like that. I really want to be this instrument or this example for being for other people to be better from themselves. I know and I recognize I have abilities, and I put it in service for all the people. I really want that. And this Luca and Lily are for me that example, as a father, as a friend, as a mother, as a leader from Lily, and that's it. I learned everything from them.
Do you have like certain success routines that you do, daily habits, daily routines that are important for how you build?
I wake up early, always. Not because I need it, because I like it. I go to train every day, sometimes at 5:30, sometimes at 8 o'clock at the morning. Those days at 8 o'clock is because I go to school with my son. I chat with him. I really want to go with him to school and talk with him. Sports, healthy habits. I eat well. I don't drink any sugar things with nothing. I don't drink, how do you say this? Not juices, gaseosas, refrescos, sodas.
Yeah.
I don't drink any sodas. I take a nap, Randy. I take a nap. 20 minutes, a power nap is a healthy habit for me. And 2 hours in a day, I try not to be in the phone. I just try to connect with my environment.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's my next big thing. I talked about it in the book, Mad Genius, that I feel like there's going to be a big pendulum switch the other way at some point. There's going to be a very large group of people who want to unplug from devices and unplug from the internet. And I will be one of those people for sure, because I wrote a blog last week about, I just think social media is one of the most negative, destructive things in our society right now. Mm. And it's shocking to me when, like, I went to lunch somewhere and I said, okay, can I get the check? And she said, oh, you just scan this barcode on the table and you pay it with your phone. And I said, yeah, but I don't have a phone. And she looked at me like I was eating spiders or something. She's like, what? I'm like, because I didn't take my phone with me. I was out to lunch. I took my little journal and my notepad. I was writing some stuff. I didn't want my phone. And she just thought I was an alien from outer space. People can't imagine going to their daughter's dance recital without checking their email, and tweeting out at the ballet, and checking the internet while they're in the opera, and they can't go to church without it. And you see two people sitting in a table at dinner, and they're both looking at their phone. They're not even talking to each other. It's so crazy how that's gotten out. So, and another thing I do is I schedule thinking time every week in my calendar. I schedule at least 45 minutes with no device, where I just sit with a journal and a pen or pencil, and I think. Because for me, being a blogger and a speaker and a consultant and network marketing, I need to be really have strong creative thinking skills and critical thinking skills. And so I have to work on that. So
it happens to you. It happens to you when you are playing softball that you have a great ideas there. You have to be focused, but
right. Yeah. In the shower, when I'm coming in from the field from softball, whatever, or I just had an at bat. Yeah, that's where those things come, because you let them operate on your subconscious level. Like if you ever want to solve a problem, just kind of write down, okay, here is the issue I'm facing, and then go do laundry, or go gardening, or go for a walk in the woods, or go for a walk on the beach. And your subconscious mind will work on it, and it will come up with an amazing thing. But if you're always on your phone, and you're always getting alerts from the news networks, and you're always getting the ping from Facebook that your friend Nancy just made a post, do you want to see what she wrote? You get a brain of jello. You just have you lose your critical thinking ability. So I love that you set aside no device time. I wish, and families, I wish they would do that in the evening for dinner, for meal breaks and stuff. It's wonderful what happens when you do that.
Of course. When I swim at the pool, I don't know. Well, I know why, but every time I have my own situations, my business situations, and my family situations, and when I swim at 6 a.m., 6:30, whatever, I always have a solution for any problem. I have to talk about invitation, and I had a perfect example when I am in the middle of the pool. I have to talk about the last day I was there, and I can match it with this, and I stop swimming and tell the coach, please, can you text me just words, just these words.
Right.
Yeah.
I have like a voice note when I'm on the treadmill. I'm usually listening to podcasts, and then something, and I have to send an email or a voice note to myself to capture that. By the way, I need to say something, because somebody's going to beat me up in the comments.
Okay.
They're going to say, why? He keeps saying he hates the phone and unplug. How come I hear messages going off in his phone? So just so people know, I have a delivery of furniture coming, and Gianmarco and I messed up the time because he was looking at Peru time and I was looking at Miami time. And so I had to leave my phone on and check it because I have this delivery coming. So nobody beat me up down in the comments. That's why my phone is on.
I'm having a new team in Miami, Randy. So maybe I'm going soon to Miami.
You need to come here.
And you know I don't like Miami, so I will make a sacrifice to go there.
Yeah, it's been too long since I seen you. You gotta, let me know ahead of time before you come. We gotta have dinner. And Miami is just, it's doing amazing right now. The stuff that's happening here.
I love Miami. I was in F1 last year with my school friends.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. We don't talk about that.
So I was asking some of my friends, hey, I'm chopping it up with Gianmarco. What should I talk to him? Anything special? And I don't remember, it was Lily or Flacco said, you know what you have to ask him? He's doing real estate. He's an athlete. He's a father. Now he's a content creator. He's doing all these successful businesses. Why is he still in MLM? Why is he still building?
The short answer is because the purpose of the business. I really like helping people. I really like it. I am not doing it because I want my paycheck to go bigger. The first option for me is because I really like helping people. I suffer every time I got a new enrollee from Mexico a month ago, and I was like ilusionado. I was illusionated about this new person that I have. This guy had all the abilities, the skills, the purposes, and he talked with me just a week and a half, and then he disappears. I know it's normal, but it is still, I'm still suffering about this because I really care.
It's so crazy, right? It's just crazy. They ghost you. They ghost you.
Yeah. And, Randy, in 2010, when I enrolled to my actual company, I am 13 years old right now in this company. In my first experience, in 3 years, I made like $100,000. In the 3 years and a half, for me, it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money.
Oh, and in Peru,
$100,000,
you're living like a prince.
Yeah, and I was 25 till 29. I was 25, 26, 27. Yeah, I was doing that business. I made like $100,000 in that day. In those years, in total. And at the time, this company, I changed my company for X reasons. I come back to my account and I said, I don't have nothing. I just do what most people do with the money. I have read Kiyosaki. I knew all the theory, but I didn't apply nothing. I went to the disco, to bars, travel, change car, everything. And at the time I go in 2010 to this new network marketing company, I promised myself that I will do it, and all the earnings that I will make in this company, I really want to apply what I have learned in the books. I really want to play this monopoly in the real world. I really wanna buy some buildings or some apartments to make these rents, and that's what I'm still doing. 13 years from that day, and I love doing this because every time I am doing this, I appreciate more what we do in network marketing, because it's not easy. People think it is easy to buy an apartment and rent it, and that's it. It's not easy. It's not easy. Our business is not easy as well, but it's better. It's better. And today, with my 42 years old, I dream with my next level, and how my family would be better with my next level as well. And that's what I love. that is exactly what I love of this profession in my company with the friends that I have. I love working with Luca, with Lily, with Erick, with Ronald, with Buba, with all these guys. It's not a job. It's not a job. It's not a business for me. I really love it.
Yeah, I got to get Renifo on here, chop it up with him one day. And you better tell Buba, he better start practicing his English, because we got to get him on here one day too.
He's great. Buba is great.
Yeah, he's mi hermano. Buba. Over in, what's that area he lives again? Trujillo, yes. Oh man, do I miss Trujillo? That is just such a cool area. I love the indigenous people there, that tribe that kind of came from that area. It's a magical place. Really is.
It is. They are so energetic, so professionals. Buba has made a huge difference in our country, not only Trujillo, in our country. He got I think one of the best stories in network marketing here in Peru. Buba can tell you about those stories.
Yeah, remember the convention I was speaking, and the guy who came over the mountains riding in the back of a truck with the chickens to come to the event. And I brought him up on stage, and Alvaro brought him up on stage. And then when I went to Trujillo, there was a guy who came to my event riding a mule for many miles. He rode this mule to come to the event because of his desire, his passion to build his dream and take care of his family. I mean, it's such a special, sacred gift that we get to participate in.
And those stories are the one that I am talking to you about. Those stories are the one that makes me sensitive about this profession. That's why I'm still here, because I really want to be that person that maybe can help someone to go further. I am in control with that. I am in control of my own example, and I want that my example counts to other people.
And you're doing it, my friend. Let me tell you, you have helped so many people, inspired so many people. You're doing incredible stuff in this space. I'm so grateful our paths have crossed, and that I get to witness firsthand some of the magic you're creating in our space.
Thank you very much. I'm doing my best, but I can do it better. So I am in all this new stuff for me. For example, creating things in my social media is new for me, and I am enjoying it.
So you got anything else on your list that you brought that you wanted to talk about?
Yes. I got here my homework.
What's left on your homework?
We already talked about the skills that are vigentes hasta ahora, and vigentes are the skills that are still working in our professions now,
over the period of time.
You already talked about that.
Skill sets, yeah.
But I wanna ask you about something for me and people to mind blow themselves about how do you see the South American movement of network marketing? What can we expect as Latins from network marketing? What do you see for our continent, not for our country, for our continent?
I am so bullish on LATAM. I'm so excited for LATAM. I've watched because being in the business so long, of course, it started as a very much a US centric business, and then US and Canada, and not even North America, because Mexico didn't get in the game early. It was just US and Canada, and then it kind of was making some progress in Europe. Then it really made some progress in Asia. You get to see the ripple effect I've had to see, because I've had a great vantage point as it's gone around the world. And when Asia took flight, it was simply magical. The scale and the scope and the passion that the Asian countries took to this. I've built now, I guess I've built in, I'm not even going to throw in like Australia and New Zealand is in that same neighborhood. So I'd throw them in. I built there, and I love those countries. But I built in Korea, Malaysia, Thailandia, Indonesia, Singapore, Vietnam, so many. And I'm just it was and is amazing how our profession was embraced there. And it's really gone really well in Europe the last 10, 15 years. There's pockets of like everywhere you go, there's certain places that are the mineral rich neighborhoods, right? Like in the United States, we have where when the candidates run for president, they have to win the electoral votes. So a state like Florida has 27 electoral votes, and a smaller state like Wisconsin might have, I think they got like 11 votes. So you need a certain number, right? So you say, where are the electoral votes in the US? It's New York, Florida, Texas, California. If you want to own the United States, you got to get groups going in those areas, because that's where the big population centers are. Asia, Japan was the launching pad, I think. And Taiwan is, of course, doing it, but Hong Kong was doing it. But they're in danger now because of the China menace, right? But Japan electrified. If we look at Germany, at Europe, Germany was the electoral votes. Right now, if I look at South America by itself, I say, okay, Brazil is where the electoral votes are, but that whole continent is, I feel like Latin America is going to be the next Asia. And then 5 years after that, Africa is going to be the next Latin America. So right now, I think there's going to be monumental, massive growth happening in Central and South America for this next decade. There's such levels of poverty there in so many of those places, like Peru, like El Salvador, and many of these places. But there's enough infrastructure for network marketing to work. There's enough people with cell phones. There's enough capability to deliver products. There's enough production capacity for manufacturing down there. They're embracing the internet the broadband is becoming much and much more common. And working in Peru, which is it's a microcosm of the bigger continent or the bigger area, because you go to Lima and it's this amazing capital city with skyscrapers and great restaurants and Lamborghinis on the street and beautiful neighborhoods and gated communities. And you go 5 to 10 miles outside the city and they don't have electricity and they don't have potable drinking water. But it's so, like, I remember my team there, where a lot of them had cell phones, but they couldn't afford the broadband, so they couldn't show videos and send stuff. So they were still doing flip chart presentations, and so we had to make sure we had to remember the one sheet we used to use down there that people would do in their presentations. But that's what you see all over LATAM, and it's growing, and it's because it meets such a need. People are hungry there. They are willing to work. They love the fact that they have an opportunity to participate in the free enterprise system like this. And I think 2023 to 2033, Latin America is going to make its mark on our profession.
I have a lot of faith in our continent. As you said, here people love to work. They really know. They really want to make the next level. And we have everything to do it.
Yeah, I mean, last time I was in Peru, I was at a light. There's like 2 stoplights in the whole town, right? It's not a lot of street lights. You drive around Lima, it's like take your life in your own hands, right? On a Friday night or Saturday night. But I was at one of the street lights you have there, and there is a lady holding her baby in one arm while she is juggling oranges with her other arm to make tips to raise her family. And I look at that and I say, the discipline and the character and the work ethic it takes to have that, to be holding her baby in one arm and just being a busker. We call it a busker in the United States, people who play the violin or they juggle or they do something. So here's a busker with her probably 8, 10-month to 12-month-year-old baby.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And another place in Colombia, it's like the light turns red and then people come across the street with a banner and there's musicians and they're playing and they're handing out flyers in the car. So there's like an advertisement on the banner and then they're watching when the light turns yellow in the other way. So they get the sign out of the way just as soon as the light turns green so everybody can go.
Can you imagine what can they do with that creativity in our business?
And they do, right? You put them in and they go out and they get 25 customers in 6 days. You get somebody in the United States who like, well, do I have to sell this stuff? I don't know who I would sell it to. You go down to Colombia or Ecuador or whatever, man, they're like, oh man, I can sell this stuff. I know so many people who need this product. That's why I love working down there. I love the culture. I love the language. I love the people. But
you're always welcome. You know, Randy. You have a lot of people here that loves you, and we will be always grateful with you. And you have the ceviche here waiting for you. No spicy.
Ceviche and Inca Cola.
We have a lot of things.
So I started this new tradition last episode with Dana Collins, volume 2, where I ask my partner each week, what is the worst rejection you ever had or the worst presentation disaster you ever gave. And then what did you learn from that?
I remember the maybe it was my first month or my month and a half. I remember clearly because as I was an athlete, I used to present the business as an athlete. I wear my shorts, my athlete shorts or my athlete pants, my Nikes or my Adidas shoes, and my shirts with this brand here of some how does it call it? Well, some brand there, no?
So like a tracksuit.
But Randy, it was not a Nike's brand. No, it was like a support brand for the team. It was like some whatever. And I was making this presentation to the husband of my trainer in that moment. The husband was he was well dressed.
Uh-huh.
And I was making the presentation at the end, and you can make like a $5,000 per week, and it will be a great business for you. This guy tells me that he will not do this business. It's not for him. But I want to say to you, Gianmarco, an advice. Why?
I love it. I know where this is going.
But I learned from it. From that moment, I learned from it.
So so what did he say?
He said me, treat your business as you are telling me that it is. So you are not well dressed for this business, Gianmarco. And since that day, I present different the business.
Amazing.
For me, it was great. It was great. I remember that episode from since it is yesterday.
Yeah, your worst presentation or rejection, you will never forget it. You always remember it because of the lesson it teaches us, right?
And the worst presentation maybe was when my upline threw me to do it. I was in my new prospect with the support of my upline, and it was like my third or fourth presentation, and my upline edify me and tell my prospect that she will have the pleasure to listen to me because I am doing the business with a high professionalism. And I was inside of me, what? I'm doing this presentation? And I try to make it, but I don't think I do it as that good. But I learned about that situation because I understand that the business depends on me, not in my upline or nobody else about me. Right. So I learned that.
Good for you. All right, my friend. For everybody watching, make sure you subscribe, tell your team about it. You can see how once a week these conversations can give you so much insight, so much real world knowledge, and so much inspiration. My friend Gianmarco, it's been such an honor having you on. Again, I'm so grateful our paths have crossed, and I've got to know you and your family and your team and everything you're doing for our space. And I'm just grateful that you spent this time with us chopping it up. So thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Randy, as well. Thank you, Randy. For me, as I told you, it's a privilege to be with you. I remember as it was yesterday, that picture that we take in that gym in that mastermind in Texas, 2008 or no, 2012. And for me, being with you, just doing this conversation is a lot for me. It's really important for me. For my team is in the cell phone expecting about this conversation. And once again, thank you.
They're waiting for an update.
Yeah. Thank you, Randy. Thank you for thinking about me.
All right, my friend. All you guys watching and listening, love you all. Peace. Hey guys, I'm back, and I just want to thank you for listening or watching and let you know if you made it this far, you are a serious, credible leader. You're somebody committed to success, professionalism, and honing your craft, sharpening your saw. So I want to recommend a resource to you. It's a monthly newsletter called MLM Confidential. Leadership lesson every month, duplication lesson every month, something we call the dish, which is kind of the industry news, what's going on in the space, who's moving where, what company's shutting down, what company's opening up, what is the dish, the dirt of what's really going on behind the scenes that maybe the average person doesn't know. And there's a personal challenge every month. So check it out, mlmconfidential.com. I'll see you next week.